Ooh, only got one side here. Test, test. I guess we'll deal with one side on the microphone. See if everything else is going. Playing the Hydra. So the Hydra was really loud. So today, I just woke up from a nap, and I dreamt I was working on, or had a dream about LFOs, believe it or not. Who dreams about LFOs but synthesizer geeks and nerds? So I got up and thought I would do not a tutorial on LFOs, but kind of like an explanation of all the different ones and stuff you can do with the RS's LFOs. Yeah, and some reason, maybe because I don't have my power plugged in my laptop, the cameras came right up today and I didn't have to mess around with a bunch of stuff, so I figured I'd just jump in. Let's get started. So I'm on track 11. So I'm just gonna get a let's get a sound on the RS7000 that's different than default. You know, I like to do LFOs oftentimes on like patty vocally sounds. They sound kind of like more orchestral. Like that one. All right. So there's our sound. So what I'm gonna do is right now, you see it's defaulted to amp and the tri wave. So what I'm gonna do is just play it. Then I'm gonna turn the depth up. Remember, it's on amp. I don't know if it's. So that's tri-wave. Let's go in onto the LFO screen so you can see what's going on. Set it. So here's the LFO page on the RS7000. It's just on a first on. So it resets the moment you push a key. I think if you got another key going, it'll stay in time. But, so if you turn that each on, then you can, they'll be out of sync, I think. Let's see. Goes out of sync, we're out of phase. Bpm Sync is cool. If you got a drum beat, you can match the beats with it a lot easier. Here's what we're gonna do is, I don't want to write John. The other thing with I think what's key on reset. They still match on the key on reset. That might be more of an interesting thing, I think, if you got Bpm Sync on. Maybe not. Key on reset. So I'm not sure what the first on. So first on would be if you have a whole bunch. Stay the same. So what's the difference? Key on reset off. Seems almost the same. Maybe there's a technical difference on that I'm not thinking of. So I'm going to turn BPM Sync off. Now I had the messing with the depth. I'm going to show you here. So the amp depth. I'm really not sure if the RS goes into negative amp depth. It's there, but I don't know if it does anything. I don't think it actually starts work until you go into positive amp depth. That might be. I'm thinking that's the same on the filter. Amp depth back down. You can hear it. Let's see what happens if you go in the negative. So this here, I think, is if it's the same as if you go to page to the filter on here. So yeah, see that changes there the same. But on this screen, you can then do them together, I guess, if you want to. These are notched encoders, though. Hope you guys can hear me okay. Get this back to 0. So we're on filter depth. Oh, we're going to see if the filter goes into negative, does anything. So I'm not sure it does. There's, I think, an interesting goof up on here. They probably should have started these filters at 0 all the way to the left. So like my 64 would be 0. Up here would be, I guess, plus 64 or 128. It'd give you maybe more. I don't know. I'm really getting into oddness. Pitch depth. That's weird. I must have bumped that. So let's turn it up. See that, so I mostly used amps. A good easy one to indicate. So I got the depth all the way up. Let's go back to this page. LFO speeds this knob, or this knob for the notch. So here's what happens when you turn the speed up. So I'm not sure. I think the speed doesn't always. I guess you could say it starts at 0 or minus though. So it's real slow now, minus 64. I think as you turn it up, it'll get faster. So it still works in the minus range. This is on the RS, by the way. Other LFOs probably work differently. So that's what's neat when you turn the LFO up. Do you know what that kind of reminds me of? Kind of reminds me of the Mandalorian soundtrack, don't it? So, let's see here. Yeah, it reminds me of the Mandalorian channel. I wonder if they're using tri-waves. This is a. So I switched to the down ramp wave. Does it show what kind of saw down? or ramp down. So let's see how that sounds. Go back into this. Makes it sound a little more strong at the beginning. So that's what they're doing on the Mandalorian, I think. You hear it? Or maybe it's a, this is a square wave. Maybe it's more like that. And that's at full depth. Let's take it down to about halfway. So it's, you can still hear it like jumping a little bit, but it's not fading completely out when it does it. Pretty neat. Okay. So, oh, let's do an upsaw so you can hear what an upsaw sounds like. Why does the upsaw not do anything? Interesting, is it still working? I gotta say, that's kind of weird. The upsaw don't sound like it's doing anything, doesn't it? Ramp up. Well, beats me. Maybe that's broken. So, the other cool thing is, I guess there's a sample and hold. It's kind of like a random generator. SNH. Sample and hold. Now, my favorite is go into PGM. I think that stands for program something. So then you have this screen, and you can generate your own wave. It's got 16 steps, and one thing, if you notice, there's no sine saw wave on here. Yamaha loves to show off sine waves in their manuals, and then they don't put them on their synthesizers. So you think you got a saw on some synthesizers? It's not. It's a tri-wave on the most Yamaha, or I say many or some Yamaha gear. And there's a difference. So I'm gonna build a quick saw. It's not perfect. Slope will be up and down. It'll be quick and dirty saw or sine. Let's see here if I can build one out. So this should go down all the way. It'll be close to a perfect sine, but not exactly. What's this? This one should have like a cross point there. Right. I'm just building the sign out. On my website, you can get the exact numbers for here on my RS7000 website. So that looks pretty good. So I'm just going visually off what looks kind of good. See, that looks pretty close to a sine. I know it's not perfect. So here's what that sounds like. It's going fast. And the nice thing about sine waves on bass is That's how you get a lot of wobbly sounds. So that's the wobbly bass. So if I put it over to tri-wave, what's the difference? It sounds close. Maybe you need a bassier sound to understand the difference there. A better, like you need like a sine, a sine bass. But let's go back into the program. So maybe on filter. This might show it off a little better on pitch. Oh wait, let me turn the amp back up. Filter. So that's that is kind of a sign on pitch. Sign LFO. But if I go to try, let's see if that sounds different. It's more of a steady up and down rather than a sharp curve toward the middle. That's the difference. So that's on pitch for a square. Let's see if ramp works here. Ramp up. Yeah, see it's working there. That's our ramp up, ramp down. Don't be full. This is the user, programmable user one. I'm not using. It's a sample hold on the pitch. So that kind of sounds like a step sequencer, but it's random. You'll hear this on a lot of synthesizers that don't have step sequencers. They do a sample and hold. Kind of makes it sound like it's sequencing notes. Just added some reverb. So that's a sample hold, which is kind of random. So I'm going to go back into the programmable one here. You can see it's turn to the slow. That's weird. I'm still on pitch. Here's a neat thing. There's a random over here. Hit random. Then let's put it on off so they look step. So it sounds similar to sample and hold, but that's maybe more of a true random. Sample and hold, my understanding is it's fairly random, but it's actually generated off a internal sound somehow on, at least on other synthesizers. It's sampling a short little sound, I think. I think that's how it got it. And then it uses that, I don't know if it's sampling from a noise circuit or what to get the randomness. I don't know exactly how sample and hold works. It always throws me off why it's called sample and hold when like random sounds better, but maybe it's not technically purely random. There's some logic to it somehow. Oh, today's beer is Titan Indian Pale Ale. Brewed, whoa, I'm spilling. Brewed and canned by Great Divide Brewery, Colorado. We got a lot of breweries here. I don't even know. I get beers just to try them out, and I noticed a lot of them are local. I don't say local, within the state. Some of my favorites are local or real close by. I don't even know. That's the first time I've tried that. So it's pretty hoppy. It has, I noticed a lot of Indian Pale Ales kind of have a, I want to say fruity, I want to say like apricot or grapefruit type taste to some of them. This one has a little bit of the grapefruit taste. I'm not big on really fruity ones like orange or any citrusy, but this one has a slight grapefruity flavor to it. I'll just say that. Rest is pretty hoppy. Yeah, a lot of people think IPAs are all about fruits. I'm like, no. IPAs are about the hops, man. That's what makes them good. Anyway, enough on teaching you about IPAs. Let's get back to the RS here. So I'm going to go back into the LFOs. Oops, that's way too much. LFO screen. What do I want to show? I was back in the random. So I've been on random pitch, right? Turn that off on. So let's see. What does random amp sound like? It's kind of random. You know what else is weird? There's templates it says in here, but I think they had in mind to make a whole bunch of these, or maybe, look, how many templates? Oh, there we go. There's just not, this, let's see, odd step. So this is just basically like a, they're not that sophisticated. And you notice that there's no sine wave. You think they'd put a sine wave in here. Even step. These will probably be better for like beat matching. Let's say beat matching, Bpm syncing, where you want the LFO to go in time with the like a standard 4x4 beat. Saw down. See, so saw down is over on our normal waveforms anyways. Why do you need a template for it? Make something else up. Put a sine wave there. Oop, I hit random. I go back to saw down. Here's the weird thing about that saw wave maybe is it's not a jump straight up. See, it goes down and then it's somewhat of a step up. Maybe that's a different, I don't know. So how about saw up? Or maybe I did. Did I do that? Can I go over to the step and oop. Saw up, where was it? Saw down. I feel like, why is that 16 is at 0 and then jumps up? Why does it not go straight up? That's a little weird. See, so how this one doesn't ramp down somewhat. Kind of weird. Saw up. Why do you need a saw up? You got one over here that's already there. An all. Why do you need an all? That's just turning the depth back down. So there isn't one. Or actually, it might make it jump up, but what's the difference? That would just be turning the volume up. Why do you need an all template? So here's all 64. That's it. Level 64 straight. That's the same. That's the same as not having an LFO. Why bother? 0's the same as not having an LFO, but gives you nothing. So depth is up. So it gives you nothing. That's the same as turning your volume down. Why? I'm not sure what the purpose of that is. Maybe it's something so you can build off of. So you got a 0, and then so you go to step 9, and then hold shift down so you can go up real quick. So you can build your own. Maybe that's the idea behind it. So you could build your own LFO. Oh, you know why? I think so that saw down. This was because I think it's on a ramp up. If I turned it off, there you go. That was the problem. So if I had a ramp down, then the saw down does that too. There you go. That explains that. So you probably generally want the slope to be off when you're messing here first. So all stupid, all 64 stupid, all 0 stupid. Wait, it's waste. I guess you need to start somewhere. All 0. So those are all waste. These templates are just dumb. Why not do some other junk here? So let's start out. Just normally at all 64. What was I gonna do? Oh, you can with pitch you can randoms are what's cool. The cool thing is when you push this random and you mess around with stuff in here, if you have MIDI hooked up, you can record your LFO settings and you can feed it back into the RS7000 and record that stuff. I'm not going to go that much in depth, but when you send this stuff, it actually gets sent out as MIDI. I think certain sysx codes. So if you get a random generated number, it'll do you'll see it as a 16-step MIDI code. Maybe I'll show that someday, not today. So instead of up down, let's turn it off so they look like steps. So here we play them again. It's on pitch. Like I said, you can go in and edit these for pitch and make it sound more like a sequence, like a faux sequencing. It's a 16-step sequencer. But it's not really, it's just a stepped LFO. That bugs me when synthesizers say they got a sequencer and it's a freaking stepped LFO. That's lies, they're lying to you. I think the Dave Smith mofo was like that. Kind of bothered me a little bit, but still good synth. Let's turn it off on pitch, down, back up on amp. Let's go back in. Oh, here's, you know what I'm going to show? Take it off this random. Let's go back into a tri-wave. So volume's going So here's one last interesting thing I'm going to show for today. Then maybe I'll go into start making a song for tonight. I don't know if I'll continue recording or not. So on track 11, let's put, I'm going to record in, exit over here, on this, chords, play, full note in, shift 200%. That'll make it 2 measures long. So let's that. And since it'll be 2 measures long, we'll go on to the next measure. So we're at 120 BPMs. BPMs kind of affect the speed as well of an LFO on here. I do believe, at least the Bpm Sync LFOs. Oh, so I'm going to do now. Let's see what this sounds like. Let's turn reverb back down. This will be the interesting thing I'm going to show you. I'm going to do, maybe you can do this on a synthesizer on one channel, or with one oscillator on the same track and channel on a normal synthesizer. I don't know how to do this. Some synthesizers might have this capability, but the easy way to do it on the RS is go to job menu, copy track. Copy track 12. Yes, and it copied the sequence and the mixer voice, play groove MIDI samples. So now it should be two together. You might hear some phasing here. They're playing. Alright. So this is just an interesting, maybe, I don't know what you call it, maybe an effect. So go into, I'm still on track 11. Let's go into the LFO. We're still on, I think, tri-wave. You don't want to, whoops, don't matter. So we're on tri-wave here. Amped it, the 16, got that way up, filter depth, 19. Pitch is going -4 a little bit. I don't know why that's not a 0, because I was messing with it, but alright, let's see here again. Speed. So here's what I was going to do. The interesting thing is go into mixer. That's one mixer once. So here's where you have some pan settings. So I'm going to take this one all the way to the left side. Alright. Track 12. So this should be just coming out of the left side. Might be the right. I hear it on both sides. I still hear it on both sides. Something should be fading. Maybe my mixer's crossing some signals up. That's strange. Might be my mixer. So wait a minute. So I'm getting. It is the RS. Maybe it's effect. I had to verify that. Maybe it was the effect doing that. Yeah. It was the very effect doing it. I think. So I got these backwards. So left. Yeah, it was the very effect. Maybe not. Jesus, I don't know what's going on. So right 63? Why don't I hear anything? Oh, is it because I got this one? Yeah, it's the very effect. Just keep me from panning. So left. Right. I don't know if you guys can hear that. So let's pan this one left. Because it's on the left track. Now, let's go to track 12. Hold track select 12. Let's pan this one to the right. I have it muted though. Unmute. So, I got the two tracks panned to different sides. In fact, the voice edit. I'm still on track 12. We're going to use this phase. Do a 180 phase on that one. Now you can hear the sound bands back and forth. Pretty cool, huh? So it's copied and I didn't do much to it. They're in sync. Or the waveforms are oscillating opposite of each other on the left and right. So they're going like that. See? Now, they won't stay synced together if you move them. So what you have to do, can you still hear me? So what you have to do, to speed one up, you have to speed the other up. So, the speed. Here's the speed is on. Speed is here. How neat sounding is that? You're offset. So that was that sped up to speed 124. Let's do this 124 too. So it should be bouncing back and forth. Pretty neat, huh? So maybe I'll just introduce you to what good BPM syncing will do. So I'm going to go back to track 1. I'm going to put some drums in. Record in some drums. Exit. Stop. It's your voice. I'm on an analog kit. I usually always switch to BD kits for my kick drums. The reason for that is I often send out my kicks to a separate channel. You can do extra stuff with extra processing on your kicks separate from your other voices. But that's just habit. I don't really need to do that. tonight. Gosh, that sure seems loud, doesn't it? I'll just put a kick. Let's do quarter note kicks. Always like to fourth. Let's put like a down velocity quarter kick. Maybe one there. Let's see how that sounds. Alright, let's get this. I'm holding the shift down in muscle memory to do things a little quicker on the RS, to scroll through things quicker. So, let's go back into voice edit. So Bpm Sync, let's turn that on. It's on fourth, so that's in sync with the kicks now. So that's to do with Bpm Sync. Sometimes I like, because it'll speed up and slow down in time. So might be good to use a square wave on this. See how that sounds? Pretty nice, huh? How about it down? So that's cool, how that, see how that syncs up? Put a snare in here. I like to go to the snare kits usually. Just in muscle memory. Just doing a simple pattern. See what's here. Oh shoot, you know what? Velocity's back up to 100. 4. That's fine. Don't care if you throw your velocities off different. Sometimes it's good to have kind of different velocities. Makes it sound a little more what they call human feel to it. Human and quote human feel when you do different velocities. Oops. That sounds like a different snare. I'll show you one other thing. So, like you talk about human sounding, you want randomness. Here's another random area. If you go up on velocity, up above 127, it goes into a few random settings. 4 is like more widely random, 3 is less widely random, 2 is less. So random 1's probably the least, or the closest varying in random. Oh. Wrong one. I don't know, let's see how this is. track 13. What we want to do is kind of a wobble bass. Like you hear a lot in. Shoot, do you know what? I think today's like probably the 15th anniversary of dubstep, huh? The only thing, sorry, class time, history class now. I don't know my history of music, whatever, but probably dubstep, maybe 10, somewhere 10, 15 years ago, it seems like now. It seems like a long time ago, or it's like a recent genre. It's not, it's already getting pretty old. The only other thing I can think of that has really inspired me that's been utterly different from dubstep is like trap music has came out and become kind of popular maybe like 7-8 years ago, maybe a little less, I don't know. And that was a genre in itself, took some elements from dub, but that's been one of the only inspirations. I haven't really heard any genres lately, like in the last 5 years maybe, that has been inspiring, that like blow me away is a completely new genre that I haven't heard of before, or was new to me, or just came out of thin air, or from the melding of other genres that just seem utterly different. I haven't heard anything, at least lately. Some of the stuff maybe I've heard is I think it's getting popular more, is what may be called more I'm going to call frequency modulated synth sounds, which sounds more like like a DX, like a Yamaha DX synth. People think when you hear FM, sorry, I'm going off here on tangent. I think people think that when they hear a DX Yamaha synthesizer, and then they relate that to FM synthesis. It's not. DX synthesizers it is FMing, but they're modulating using algorithms to modulate sounds between each other, and the algorithms, what order you put them in and stuff. That's my understanding. Maybe I'm way off. I've never really got heavy into Yamaha DX FM synthesizing. This little guy here is a analog, virtual analog. It's the AN200, and you can get like FME, what I call FME sounds. So what you're doing is FM stands for frequency modulation. You have, like on the RS, it's doing FMing with the LFOs. That's frequency modulation. You're basically using one oscillator or sound frequency to modulate another sound frequency, like an LFO. That's frequency modulation. Now it happens sometimes, maybe not the RS is good at this, but when you get those frequencies synced in different ways, they start to make bell sounds, or belly or metallic-y sounds. And I think that's why people in digital synthesizer got a bad rap back like in the 80s, early 90s, is that, they're cold, because they're making metallic bell sounds. I think, in my opinion, what's going on lately is these metallic and bell sounds are coming back popular in like software synthesizers, or newer synths that are doing frequency modulation, but it's not DX modulation. It's standard, like analog modulations, but because processing power is so much stronger now, and you can do more complex things, and I don't know. I just feel like I hear more FME bell ring modulating sounds more lately. I feel like that's a thing in all genres of music. Whereas back in, not that long ago, people are like, that's a cold digital synthesis. Now that's what people want. So digital is like back in vogue. It's back in style. But in a weird sense, because of the processing powers and everything, I don't know if it's even processing power. I think it's more maybe knowledge has advanced more. Knowledge and understanding that FM actually can sound just as good as what the analog. You know, it may not be what they say warm and fuzzy, but you can get, like I was talking about earlier, human sounding tones to it. Because just because you hit a piece of metal doesn't mean it's cold and robotic, right? I don't want to say it's maybe not sound digital sounding, but it's, you know, there's a lot more, maybe what you call side frequencies. I don't know what you call that, but yeah, where am I going with this? Oh, I got sidetracked. I'm just talking out my butt. I hope you guys enjoyed some of the LFO stuff I was demonstrating. Should I make a, I was working on the Bpm Sync is off. Oh, I'm a track there. Oh, you know what I was going to do? I was going to make a I was going to do a, that's what sidetracked me. I was going to do a dubstep wobble bass. Go back to make sure. 13 octave bass. I want like there's a square bass. There's sine basses. Sounds kind of good though. A square bass too. Oh, square bass one. Wow, that sounds pretty heavy. So square bass one. Alright, so we're going to turn that into a wobble bass using the LFO. Oh, this is where I think, so like a little bit of filter depth and then amp. It'll be kind of higher. Let's see, where's the speed? Oh, where's speed? So there's my pitch, filter, amp, LFO speed. It's at 0. Let's see here. Too fast. So the nice thing about Bpm Sync Bpm Sync will keep that in sync with your tempo. I'm going to turn a low gain up. I feel like I need a sub oscillator or like an actual sine wave to bring out the bass on this. I feel like that's peaking something out a little. I hear some static. tri-wave there. Like I said, sounds like that worked better with a sine wave. So let me switch this over to program. It's going to take a sec. So let's build our sine wave up again. This is what's great about the RS. You can at least build your own sine wave. Slope up, down. I'm building. See, why wouldn't you just include a? I know this should at least hit the halfway point around. Why would you not include a sine wave with your LFO stuff? So that'd be a weird. Look at that. So that's just a weird LFO right there. Let's see what that sounds like. I gotta play it. Be weird. Let's speed it up. So that's not in sync. Let's go back to that. Might sound better synced up. So let's turn the sync on. LFO, my man. It's only got one LFO though, is the problem. It'd be nice if you had a second one that could modulate the first or other stuff. But that's an RS limitation. I'm not complaining. All the other cool stuff you do with the RS. Call it a night. Let me get this LFO going. I think I'm doing the LFO wrong. Oh well. So you know what's fun? Let's just hit random. Random. Plug it in. But I feel like I've been going at this for a little while and probably good enough for tonight. Hope everybody has a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Let's see, tonight's a Wednesday night. I got tomorrow off. Long weekend for me. Been working from home, so where am I going anyways? Go see the close immediate family, mom and pops. You guys do the same. Hope you enjoyed. That was more of a hopefully a learning experience for everybody today. All right, I might post this one on YouTube because it's more of a learning experience than me just messing around. I am messing around a little bit though. So, oh well. Enjoy. Again, Merry Christmas, everybody. Happy New Year's. Goodbye.